My last goodbye. You think I wanted it to end like this, but you never understood the way you moved inside my mind. You were noise, chaos, softness and destruction all at once, and I kept swallowing every version of you, because I thought someday you'd look at me the way I looked at you. But you never did. And now I'm standing here, talking to the empty space where you should have been, letting the words bleed out because keeping them inside would have killed me faster. You don't hear me, but I still talk to you as if you do, because that's what you turned me into. Someone who can't stop loving even when love has turned into a wound. You know what hurts the most? That I kept choosing you, even when you kept choosing everything else. I waited, hoping you'd come back, hoping you'd fight for me for once, hoping you'd realize that I was the only one who didn't lie to you, didn't use you, didn't pretend. But you walked away with the comfort of knowing I'd still be here. Maybe that's what destroyed us. You got too used to my loyalty, and I got too tired of being the only one who stayed. I'm talking to you now because I need this, not because you deserve it. You broke something in me, and you didn't even look back. You know I was never scared of losing people. I was scared of losing you. That fear kept me chained, kept me forgiving your coldness, kept me silent when I should have screamed. I let you walk over every part of me because I loved you in ways that weren't healthy, weren't sane. And you let me. You let me drown in you, and you still walked away like nothing ever held weight. You'll never admit it, but you liked the power you had over me. You liked knowing one word from you could destroy me or save me, and you used that power every time you felt empty. I'm not blaming you for being broken. I'm blaming you for pretending I didn't see it. I saw every flaw, every crack, every fear you tried to hide under that stubborn silence. I loved you anyway. You pushed me away, but I still held on with bleeding hands. And you'll remember that one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday the echoes of how deeply I loved you will hit you when you're alone, when you finally run out of escapes, when you realize you lost someone who would have burned the whole world for you. I kept thinking if I waited long enough, you'd turn around. But you didn't. And now I'm done chasing someone who doesn't even look. I'm done carrying a love that only breaks me. You'll think I'm angry, but I'm not. Anger needs energy. I'm empty. You took every last bit of me, and now all that's left is this. These words. This goodbye. This cold acceptance that you and I were never going to survive the way we loved. You were fire, and I kept holding you bare-handed. So listen carefully, even if you're not here. This is the last time I speak to you like this. The last time I let you inside my chest. The last time I break myself just to feel close to you. My last goodbye isn't for you. It's for the version of me that kept choosing you, no matter how deeply it hurt. Goodbye to him. Goodbye to the man who couldn't walk away. Goodbye to the pain I kept wearing like a crown. My last goodbye to you, and my first hello to myself. You don't even know how loudly your silence still screams inside me. I keep replaying every moment where I begged for a little bit of honesty, a little bit of effort, a little bit of proof that I matter to you. But you stayed distant, like you were scared of being seen. And now that you're gone, I finally understand. You never feared losing me. You feared being known. You feared someone reading the parts of you that you kept locked away. I was willing to carry those pieces, even the ugly ones. But you never let me. You kept your walls high, and I kept breaking myself, trying to climb them. That's what I'm letting go of now. The version of you I kept creating in my head because the real you never stayed long enough to be loved properly. You never understood how much of myself I poured into us. I didn't give you half love, half effort, half presence. I gave you all of me. Every dark corner, every scar, every thought I never shared with anyone else. I handed you my truth, raw and trembling, and all you gave back was hesitation. You kept me at the edge of your world, close enough to touch, but far enough to never hold. And I stayed there, hoping you'd pull me in someday. You never did. You liked me wanting you. You liked me chasing what you never planned to give. I'm finally accepting that. I'm finally walking away from that version of longing that only fed your ego and starved my heart. What you don't realize is how deeply I understood you. You think you hid everything so well. The fear, the insecurity, the way you flinched whenever someone got too close. But I saw you. I saw the way you built yourself out of strength because softness scared you. I saw the way you pushed me away because caring felt like a threat. And I saw the way you pretended you didn't feel anything for me when your eyes told a different story. You went heartless. You were terrified. And instead of choosing the one person who didn't ask you to be perfect, you chose the safety of distance. You chose losing me over risking yourself. One day you'll regret that choice. But by then, I'll be long gone. I kept waiting for you to come back, even when you didn't deserve it. I kept waiting for a message, a call, a sign that I wasn't the only one carrying the weight of what we had. Nights turned into months, and I still held on to the hope that maybe you'd realize what you lost. But hope became a blade, and I kept cutting myself with it. I reached a point where I couldn't breathe under the weight of waiting. Waiting for someone who wasn't coming back. Waiting for someone who never truly arrived in the first place. That's when I understood. Love isn't supposed to feel like begging for crumbs. And I deserved more than the silence you wrapped me in. You know what hurts. Not losing you. Losing the version of myself I became for you. The man who softened his darkness, who learned patience, who held back the storms inside him just to make space for your uncertainty. I changed in ways you never even noticed because you were too busy running from everything real. I became gentler, calmer, quieter, not because it suited me, but because I thought it would make you stay. That was my mistake. I betrayed myself to keep you, and you still left. Now I'm reclaiming the parts of me I buried for you. The fire, the intensity, the truth you always feared. I'm done shrinking just to fit inside the shallow version of love you offered me. Someday you'll feel it. Someday the emptiness will hit you at the wrong hour, in the wrong place when there's no noise to cover what you lost. You'll replay the moments where I chose you over everything, and it'll burn. You'll remember the way I looked at you, like you were worth the chaos, the madness, the pain, and you'll realize no one else will ever look at you that way again. Not because you're impossible to love, but because you wasted the one person who loved you without conditions. You'll try to forget me, but my absence will haunt you in ways my presence never did. And as for me, I'm done fighting battles that leave me bleeding alone. I'm done holding on to memories that don't hold me back. I'm done speaking to the shadows of someone who never learned how to stay. You were a chapter I read 1,000 times, hoping the ending would change, but it never did. Now I'm writing new pages, ones where I don't chase, don't beg, don't break myself to prove my worth. You were the lesson. I am the aftermath. And this time, I walk away without turning back. You don't realize how many nights I spent trying to understand you, trying to decode the silence you left me with. I kept replaying the same questions, the same possibilities, the same memories, searching for a sign that maybe you cared in ways you never said. But the truth is simple. If you wanted to stay, you would have. If you wanted to fight, you would have. And I'm twisting reality just to protect a version of you that never existed. I'm done making excuses for someone who never once chose to explain why they kept disappearing. You were a ghost long before you left, and I was the fool who kept treating you like something real. You moved through my life like a storm, loud in the beginning, drowning me in your presence, then vanishing before I could even understand what hit me. I kept searching for the person I met, the light you showed me for a moment before you hid it behind walls again. But that version of you, it was temporary. A mask. A glimpse of something soft you were too scared to keep. You never let me see the whole of you, only the parts that wouldn't expose your vulnerability. And I kept holding on to those fragments, convincing myself they were enough. But they never were. They never could be. There were moments when I almost broke myself reaching for you. Moments when I'd catch myself staring at the door, expecting you to walk through it like you always did whenever you needed comfort. You came to me for warmth, for safety, for reassurance, and I gave it all without hesitation. I never asked for anything back, not even loyalty. But in the end, even giving everything wasn't enough. You wanted the comfort without the commitment, the love without the responsibility, the closeness without the truth. And I'm finally waking up to the fact that I was holding a person who only came alive when they were being held. You don't understand what it means to love someone without conditions. You think love is a game of distance, pulling away before you get hurt, running before someone gets too close, pretending not to feel because feeling means risking something. But that's not love. That's fear wearing the mask of independence. And while you ran from me, I ran toward you with everything I had. I didn't fear your darkness. I didn't fear your wounds. I didn't fear your past. I feared losing you, and that fear kept me captive long after you walked away. But not anymore. I'm tired of being loyal to someone who treats distance like a shield. You know what's ironic? You always said you didn't want to be a burden. But the weight you put on me was heavier than anything you were trying to avoid. You made me carry your silence, your confusion, your inconsistency. You made me doubt myself, question my worth, rethink every word I said just to avoid pushing you further away. I bent until I broke, and you still didn't notice. You still walked out like my heart wasn't the place you once found comfort in. And maybe that's what hurts the most. How easily you let go of something I fought so hard to keep. Somewhere in the middle of losing you, I found something unexpected. Myself. I found the strength to stop waiting for someone who never intended to return. I found clarity in the silence you left behind. I found the truth in the space where your presence used to live. And that truth is simple. Love shouldn't feel like punishment. It shouldn't feel like begging for attention, for time, for honesty. I deserved a love that chose me with certainty, not hesitation. And I'm finally choosing myself with the same intensity I once used to choose you. Once, I believed you were the place I belonged. Now I know you were the place I was meant to outgrow. You were a temporary lesson, disguised as a permanent feeling. A beautiful ache, a necessary heartbreak. A necessary heartbreak. And I'm done carrying the weight of something that was never mine to hold. I release you, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with the quiet understanding that we were never meant to last. You were the storm. I was the fire. And somewhere between the chaos and the heat, we burned each other out.